Sweet. I think that's gonna work. Okay, first up, what's your name?
Jello Brown.
Angelica Brown. Nice to meet you. I'm nice to meet you.
Is he?
Sweet. All right. Yeah, cool. So the question we have for you is, since it's finals week's coming up, it's a really stressful time for most students, for graders.
I'm a freshman.
So it's your first finals week. Um, how are you handling the stress that comes with finals week, and how are you handling the stress balancing it with like school and graduates and all that?
I handle stress. I go for walks. So I put in my headphones and I'll play like angry rap music and I'll like power walk around the park until I feel better. It works. I don't know. The fresh air is kind of cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I do that and then I try to be done with everything by 8 p.m. It's my cutoff time because I get up pretty early. So I have a set start time and then a set cutoff time. And then after the cutoff time, I'm like, no.
Sweet. So do you think that like during finals week, you're kind of like trying to prioritize like what's good for your body and stuff? Or do you think you're trying to prioritize school or like kind of try to balance both?
I'm really trying to balance.
Yeah.
I always err on the side of prioritizing school a little too much.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying not to do that. But if I had to go towards one, I do tend to go towards.
Yeah, I would agree. Probably do that too. So like,
I do.
yeah,
I did exactly.
yeah. Um,
Yeah, so would you say that you worry about your score, particularly this happening?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Worry about, I guess it's less, I don't worry about whether or not I can do it. I worry about like the quality of it.
Quality of it.
yeah.
Well, so we didn't tell you what class this was for. So this is for our ethics class, ethics of philosophy. And we want to introduce you to the philosophical thought of Stoicism. So basically, the main point of Stoicism is controlling what you can control. Right. So pretty much it's, all right, if something happens to me or if I've got this, I'm not going to be indifferent about it. I'm not going to worry too much about it. I'm not going to say it's a really good thing or really bad thing. It's like hinder what I do and stuff like that. And pretty much the whole goal of a Stoic person is to achieve what's called apatheia, which means without passion. And so what's kind of view of passion you have? Like,
Well,
what's your definition of passion?
An excess of emotion, which could be good or bad.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, so I was actually expecting you to say like, oh, like something I have a really strong feeling about, like, oh, like, I really enjoy reading like so yeah, so like the Stoics view of a passion is just a misjudgment about whether something is good or bad. So for example, it's like, oh, keep using getting hit with fair things like Izzy earlier. But like for stack food, that's a good example. It's like the stack food serving chicken fried steak for dinner or something. That's a bit of a snack food. It's like, oh, I think this is really bad because it's stacked food, but really like having a difference towards it when you're going into it.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So I think that's right.
I'm trying to think of another question. Well, I can talk about Stoic action theory, which is, first of all, what is good for the organism? It's one of the main points. So obviously you said that you know usually what is good for school. What do you think you could do during finals week to achieve like what's good?
I think stick to
Yeah, that's good.
and then do something that makes me happy.
Oh, that's really good. Yeah.
One thing.
Control what you can control in that sense.
What happens though when something goes unexpected and you're studying or like it pops up and things happen without us expecting?
I think that's the way. Think through it, maybe get some distance from it for a bit, so that I have some time to think through it, and then I'll go back to it. But I try to if something is really stressing me out on a big scale, like with finals, obviously finals are right after next week. So I'll try to think, okay, just live in the present moment, pick the task, do it now, and focus on what's in the now, and not what you're stressed out about that's happening.
So how do you, this is kind of off topic, but how do you view like actions that are good or bad in terms of kind of school or like your life and your finances?
I think that having a work ethic is really important. I think that's a good thing, because I think it's a really good way to get a lot out of your life and to get a lot out of your education. I think it can be enjoyable to have a good work ethic. I think often it's, there's a lot of pressure on it to just be like, go, 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 go. But I think that you can have fun, and that's what I'll try to do. And then also, but this thing that's very important is that rest is productive. And being happy is productive. You don't get have a work ethic without having life outside.
Okay, yeah. So another part of this like action theory is to like play your role in performing. How do you think that you do, like, obviously you try to do it in the classroom, but how else can you do it outside of the classroom during events?
Like, I like the entire world of the team.
I would like your roles with your relationships outside of school. That's okay.
Notice since I was.
Yes,
Sorry.
okay.
Just adds, Dr. Glowinkle, you'll get a good laugh on that.
Relationships, I'm the oldest, so I've always been sort of, I feel more than sure to be a caretaker, be a connector, to check in on people and make sure that everybody's. Because I think sometimes when I get stressed out, I forget that people can also check in on me, and that can go both ways. I don't just purely be putting my outcomes. So in terms of things in my life, I think I just try to find a balance with making sure that I'm taking care of other people, but not at my cost.
Can you think of any examples in your own life where maybe you instantly made this judgment about how something might be good or bad? Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yeah. I'm trying to think of a topic that's not like super controversial or anything. I would say, moving to Montana. I'm not from Montana. It's similar to Montana, so it's definitely very much so out of my comfort zone, and it still is. But I had a lot of judgments before I got here. And I was like, oh, really? No. And, I think it's been good to focus on the judgments that come up. Some of them happen, you know, some things are as I expected them to be, but also some things aren't as, in terms of like the people I've met and like on my day-to-day life. It's been good to kind of learn what a place like this actually is instead of like.
Stoic curriculum, we're talking about this a little bit, the Stoics kind of have a big emphasis on being indifferent about different situations in our lives. I think indifference could have played a role in like your experience.
That's kind of the negative. I guess the positive side of that would be. Indifference is something I've always had an issue with. I think I tend to be a pretty emotional person, and so it's sort of super realistic. Because I feel like I feel indifference because I'm like happy about the situation. It's because I don't like the situation enough to feel. So I'm kind of glad that I wasn't indifferent, even though the judgments I had weren't necessarily the most positive. I still had room. I still had room to learn new things about it. Whereas I feel like if I had been indifferent, then my opinions would have never really changed because I just didn't care enough to change them.
So another part of Stoicism is like, you can say it, is that how you say it?
Yeah, you,
And that's like the good feelings that come out of, other Stoic passions. So like the Stoic passions include pleasure, fear, appetite, and those kind of things. And so one of the opposites of those is like joy, watchfulness, wishing. So like joy, opposite of pleasure. How do you kind of not indulge in those, but like try to put those in your life?
It's the little moments for me. I think that that's where I find most joy in my life is in some of it. And so I try to focus on those to make sure that I'm not taking them for granted. So finding joy in every little thing I can. Maybe it's like pretty day outside, you get a good listen to a really good song that have a good conversation with someone. So not absolutely massive life changing things.
Yeah.
Those are less common. It's the little things that build up to me. So those are what I try to do.
Oh, sweet. And are there like any other like pure good emotions that you think that you are really good at controlling, like during times of stress? Ones that you're bad at controlling, I guess.
I think I'm bad at like overthinking things and not being so like kind of blow it out of proportion. But then on the flip side, I also think I'm good at once I realize I'm doing that, I can pull back from that and fix my perspective.
we talked a little bit about stoicism, kind of hopefully. So, do you like stoicism or do you not like stoicism?
Yeah, like that, sure, yeah, I don't like the indifferent element. I think that's a hard way to look at it, but I like the idea that you approach something. Without looking at it. I think that should absolutely be.
You can control.
So going back, yeah, so going back to our original question, how can you implement some stoic features into your life with files?
I can set my next, and then at the beginning of the day, I'd be like, do it. That's I don't know if I'm gonna like change anything there, but maybe just taking one more moment to think about how I approach something.
Yeah.
Close it out. So Dr. Glow's got a good little conclusion, I guess.
Well, in conclusion, she learned a lot about
I did.
stoicism, and controlling the controllables is the main point, and not having too much passion of apatheia. Keeping to a schedule, like you said, will be very beneficial and help her being successful during pregnancy. So thank you. I really hope the sound works.
I hope so too.